G'day and welcome to Investor Motivation Podcast. My name's Rob Goudie and I've got Rachael Todman with me. Welcome, Rach. How are you?
I'm good. How are you going?
Going very well.
That's good.
It's a Friday. We thought we'd have a chat about a few client case studies, which we've been enjoying doing, and giving a bit of someone's case study, a scenario which will be common to, unfortunately, for many people, at least for your scenario,
Yeah.
and really go through and really just unpack things and the type of advice we're giving to provide people comfort.
Yes. Yeah. Sounds good.
Good. All right, we're starting off with yourself, Rach, and one of your clients and that you're working with at the moment. And can you give us a brief overview and we'll unpack it from there?
Yeah. So, clients unfortunately going through a separation, so marriage breakdown. So there's lots of decisions that she has to make, not only financially, but yeah, emotionally. So it's helping her navigate, through the next steps.
Right, fantastic. So, I suppose this gets all very complex in terms of you know, I know in this scenario that you're working with, there's not only young children involved, there's business involved, and so on. What are the first steps for for someone to take when they know that unfortunately it can't be recovered?
Yeah, it's a really difficult one. I don't think there's any, it's never straight cut with that. But I think the conversations that I had with the client was slowing things down for her because everything feels so urgent and emotional during this time. So it was really giving her the space to think about what her next steps are.
Yes.
And yeah, sort of just take the urgency off everything and yeah, work through it step by step, not trying to fix everything all at once.
And what are some of these really urgent decisions, and obviously in making quick decisions when emotions are running high and stresses are high, that's clearly not ideal. What are some of these very big, these decisions that should be slowed down?
Well, for one of them, I guess for her was she needed to relocate to find a home. So it was trying to navigate whether or not she's best renting or purchasing or just, yeah, making sure that she wasn't rushing into, say, purchasing a property that may not suit her needs down the track. Yes, she needs shelter and all
Yes.
that stability for herself and her kids. But we wanted to make sure that the decisions she made now were not going to have a negative impact down the track, and one that she'd regret in those emotional times.
And obviously, seeking the help of a obviously suitably qualified family lawyer, solicitor to help guide through the process. That was, something that where you got involved after the fact when she knew what it looked like for her.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wasn't involved, yeah, front end with the financial settlement at all. She'd come, yeah, as you
Yes.
said, to me after the fact. So once decisions had been signed off on, and yeah, she had clarity
Right.
in that
Yeah.
sense.
And yeah, Rach, where would you say the biggest size of relief where, her coming to you for guidance and direction, where do you think I suppose, had the biggest impact to, help her slow down to understand what the future can look like, that all going well, that she'll be okay? Because obviously a lot of stress and obviously, a single lady with, quite a few children, financial stability, and shelter, as you said, is top of mind.
Yeah, and one, I think the hardest thing for her to navigate as well is her finances were always taken care of by her partner. So not only
Yep.
was she, yeah, navigating the complexities of running a household by herself, it's also, I guess, yeah, starting from the ground up. So increasing her knowledge and confidence and knowing that she had someone in her corner was, you could just see things shift.
Yep.
And yeah, that calmness for her that I could provide and direction, I think, is what she valued the most, more than, yeah, obviously numbers matter, but yeah, knowing we had a plan and she wasn't just floating through it. by herself.
So this wasn't, the complexity of investing. This could be as simple as, how do you pay bills when all that work has been done for her in the past?
Yeah.
And sticking within, I suppose, a weekly or fortnightly budget, and an amount of money that she would be receiving from a maintenance point of view, in addition to her own funds. Is it
Yeah.
down to those very simple levels,
Yeah.
and still, yeah,
Yeah, so obviously it leads into investing. What she does with the money, we need to make sure that it lasts, but we also need to strip it back to a very basic level to say, okay, well, you need income to support yourself and the kids. How do we manage that? You need to have a good buffer in case something goes wrong. Yeah, how do we manage your cash flow from the simplest levels? Look, she's not used to, paying the bills or budgeting as such. So yeah, just the simple stuff to start with, and then that leads on to looking at our superannuation funds. How do we invest the proceeds of after she's purchased a home or done what her goals are? What do we do with the rest of the money?
yes,
Yeah, to make it last, because yeah, she's got young kids, as you said, and yeah, it needs to last long term, and making good decisions now without being overcomplicated and adding more overwhelm to what's
yes,
already emotional.
yep. Have you seen any mistakes in this case study that where you'd say, oh, geez, that one could hurt, in terms of big purchases, purchased a car that they possibly she shouldn't have afforded? Anything, any big mistakes?
There's been some decisions that if I'd probably known about them prior to her doing it,
Yeah.
that I definitely would have questioned, I guess. But yeah, thankfully she's come through our door and we can help her navigate. And as we say, it's always very intelligent people that we're dealing with, but when it comes to money and emotions, that soundboard, can help, I guess, put the handbrake on a little bit, to do that. So, yeah,
And no, and that decision in itself, Rach, that if the theme that you said right at the start is take your time. If she was taking her time, and the chances of that decision, without going to what it was, that decision may not have been made if she just took her time more.
yeah. And we can sit here and say, that we would take our time with that, but it's an emotional state of her. It's a big change in her life, so you're not always going to be thinking rationally. So that's where I feel like encouraging people to say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. What do what's your thoughts? Can be that little bit of a buffer in between and slow things down, for it, because human emotion will always overrule common sense. So yeah,
And Rach, with this scenario, you said that obviously the ex-husband, took care of so much stuff, from a cash flow point of view, paying the bills, and obviously, I assume, meant that he was also the one that was in charge of how they invested, where money was, and so on. So, can I
yeah.
assume that her knowledge about, even the basic stuff about paying bills, looking after cash flow, her knowledge around where money was, what that money was doing, was low as well? And how have you tackled, I suppose, trying to build the knowledge up in that area?
Yeah, so again, just encouraging to get back to basics. So working out what her potential bills will be, what that looks like, breaking down the elephant. So yeah, really sort of, I guess, bucketing expenses, and just really stripping it back to increase her confidence and knowledge of what to expect without panic or fear.
You said bucketing expenses. Can you outline what that is?
Yeah,
Please.
so pretty much getting her to automate everything, so every bill's taken care of. Making sure she's got her emergency fund, making sure, she's got good cash reserves just in general, so she can take the kids on holiday or do things that she wants to do. So trying to tick every box, but making it automated and as stress-free as we can for her to manage over the long term.
So automate things, but there's
Yeah.
also some buckets for where there's money for different purposes. There's an emergency account,
Yeah.
there's cash sitting there, there is the account where bills come from, and you mentioned making sure you're enjoying the time while the kids are young and still under her guardianship,
Yeah. Yeah.
to make sure she's, having, is that a separate holiday account, or that's intertwined within other accounts?
Pretty much intertwined, I would say. So I haven't got into the, real detail with her to set up her bank account. So these have just been guidance and suggestions from my own experience. And leaning in on a time when I was a single mum as well, and relating or empathy with that time of how hard it can be. So what worked for me, to get me through it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Rach, when obviously things change substantially from the responsibility and risk goes up, how does life insurance and estate planning, what sort of roles do these play within your advice that you provide?
Yeah, so it's not only about protecting the now, it's also we've had conversations about what if something happened to her, making sure that the funds will go to the kids, but yeah, considering at a time that they're responsible as well. So we're currently working with solicitors about how we navigate through that, and how we invest as well in structures. So
And estate planning, wills need to be changed, binding death nominations,
yeah.
where more than likely some of her death and TPD insurance sit as well.
Yeah, all that, also including guardianship and things like that for the kids.
Yes.
Testamentary trusts may come into play inside the wills as well. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts that we're working through. So that's all coming, but again, it's that not overwhelm. It's a bit of a long-term plan as well, making sure it's sorted, but yeah, step by step.
Prioritising, financial advice in amongst all the emotions and all the other things that's got to be handled. Has that been a hurdle for for this case study, this person to engage with financial advice to say this is really important to get this part done? There's no one here that's going to save me anymore. I've got to make good decisions myself. Has seeking advice for this particular person been something that's been high in the priority, or just was it self-preservation and looking after the kids?
Yeah, treading water at the moment. So yes, knowing these things need to be taken care of, but she's being pushed and pulled through so many different things, and navigating what family life looks for her, for the kids and personally. So it is another thing on her list to do, and that's why we're trying to tackle it very delicately with importance and priority. But I'm definitely accepting that she's got her main focus is the kids.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-preservation, look after her children, and you said, Rach, really prioritising the main things that she needs to think about, learn about now, and then some of the other things can be taken care of afterwards. What are the top two things that you think she needs to learn very quickly, get her head round, and then the things that can happen afterwards?
Cash flow for her is a priority for me and structure, to make sure that funds are allocated for certain things, because there is that risk of them being absorbed in places that they shouldn't go, I guess you'd say. So it's making sure that she's got clarity and structure, and confidence as well to make her own decisions. Putting the handbrake on a little bit with these decisions has been important as well. And yeah, we're looking at what the world looks like for her moving forward financially. So how does she meet her income needs? They're the immediate things that we're dealing with. And then we're also looking into the future of what we do with the funds that she's received. How are they invested to make sure that we're making the most of those and at last, yeah.
Is that one of the decisions that you say, well, we can take care of that one a little bit afterwards? Let's get these things right. Let's let things settle, find your home. Or is that the type of thing that can wait for a little bit later on down the track?
Yeah, so I've been working with this client for quite some time to get to where we are now. So we've been stepping it out. So we're now at the point where we're talking about investing. We've worked out what's left. She's got her home, she's got a buffer, she's got all that sort of stuff happening. So now we're looking at the investment piece of it to get that sorted now that the structure's in place for the immediate stuff.
Sounds like, Rach, you're providing your client with a lot of comfort and a lot of direction, but also not overwhelming them in the short term when they've just got so much change, so many stresses all around them.
Yeah, and that's something that all of us advisors do really well is, we lead with our hearts, I suppose, first, and it's not pushing people to rush. It's patience with them and listening to what they need at that time. It's not just about that spreadsheet because, life's far more than that. So, yeah.
Said. Rach, thank you very much for sharing that case study. How can people find you?
Normal socials, Instagram, TikTok, obviously on our Investor Motivation podcast, and yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time and sharing the story, and we'll catch you next time, and thanks for everyone that tuned in to have a listen, and obviously please remember this is all general advice only.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rach.
Bye.
Bye.